Well, hello, everyone. We hope you're doing well.
Good evening. We are streaming to you tonight from Richmond, Virginia. We successfully made it back to the East Coast after our travels.
Yay!
Yes, excited to be back and closer to home than we have been in some weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I wanted to open the evening's podcast with a somber announcement. A treasured colleague of ours and a member of the All Access Network family, Shane McLean, has passed away since our last episode. We are feeling his presence strongly among us, though. As those of you familiar with his work will know, he was a man of devout faith, whose faith was enhanced and elevated by an open, honest curiosity, a respect for diverse experiences and perspectives. Uh, and that spirit is very much with us here on this podcast and the All Access Network as a whole, of course. Raven, I know that you had a lot more personal experience with him. Would you like to share something that you will be keeping alive of Shane with us?
Yeah. So, when I joined All Access Network, I had the pleasure of being on Shane's podcast show. And Shane is and always will be a very bright light in our family community. It didn't matter what background you came from or what your belief differences were, he showed a very genuine curiosity about each individual that would come onto his show. And uh, he, while in spirit, will always be with us. He will be forever missed in our network family. And I think the best way to continue to keep him alive is to continue to show that curiosity with others and um, share that curiosity and the kindness that he showed all of us. So, to Shane's family, if you need any support, please know that you have support here should you need it. And we are so very grateful to have had the time that we got with Shane, and that even though I knew him for a very short period of time, he was my friend, and he still is, and he made a huge impact on the community and will continue to do so throughout time. I can feel it. So, all right.
Well said. Uh, well, our guest for this evening is a very dear, beloved friend and, to me, family member.
Mm.
My brother in the House of the Dreaming, SilverBlood, is here to share his experiences and thoughts on the awakening process,
Mhm.
as well as the wisdom he's accumulated from extensive travels to visit vampire events and make connections with vampire community across the country. Silverblood, we're so excited to have you here with us.
Hi.
Greetings, friends. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Now, for the benefit of some of our audience who might not be familiar with the terminology, what would you say it means for someone, like a human being, to be awakened in this sense?
Excellent question. Yes, for me, the awakening is about dying to your old self and opening your eyes to a new world. I believe that within all of us, there is awakening that either has happened or that is continued to happen, or that you're still asleep.
Mm,
Um, I believe that once you see yourself, your true self, that's what I call the awakening, your true form, right? It could be a vampire, it could be a witch, it could be a Therian, or it could just be a regular human being. But with opening your subconscious mind, being open minded, and that the world is full of magic, the world is full of things that you didn't realize. And when you are awakened to the state, you realize that life is different, yet the same. Um, for me, I transform myself, I would say, from the awakening. I mean, I am continue to always evolve, right? We're all of us are always changing. That's one thing that's always constant is constancy is that we're always changing. The world is changing constantly, and you are always changing with it. And the awakening process is to be aware of that consciousness and opening your heart, your mind, and your spirit into that. So that is what awakening to me is.
I really like that you explicitly mentioned that folks can awaken to a range of identities. You mentioned not only vampires, but Therians, otherkin, witches.
Mhm.
What would you say is the big fundamental difference in someone who has awakened, regardless of what they've awakened to, and just a standard difference in worldview? What is it that makes the awakening truly transcendentally special?
Yes, I think again, I call it the gift, right? Each person is has a different energy. We all seem to be the same as human beings. At the
Mm,
same time, we're each uniquely different. Our energies are different, right? So it's finding who you are, finding, well, you're always there, but finding your heart, your passion, your love, your desire, and realizing like, hey, this is who I am. I met people through my travels that are considered to be, Fae, right?
mm,
And it's like, well, who are the Fae people? They're earth creatures who have loved animals and creatures and mystic creatures, not just, regular dogs and animals, cats. Those are great too, but
mm.
also mythical creatures, So all these beliefs that they have, they're that energy is drawn to them and it makes them that unique character. Once you do the awakening, you find your individuality. And for me, to meeting this different energy is so amazing to meet people who have so many different gifts and talents and to see that their animalistic side, who are wolf, like Therian and other kin, all the way to being a witch, being a pagan or a shaman. Um, I consider myself a shaman. I love practice of shamanism, being a martial artist. Uh, Growing up, in a Christian family when I came to America from Korea, that it seems to be very common that most people need to go to church, right? You need to believe in God. You need to go to college. You need to get married. You need to have a kid, and then have this career, and then blah blah blah. And that's your life. That's what you're supposed to do, you know. And but then the people who has been awakened, they're like, wait a minute, I want to do a different path. Why do I have to live that way? Why? So to me, that's the thing: is your unique individuality by asking why. Why do I have to do that? Or why do I have to do this? Why are the world this way? And so that I think finding that uniqueness will give you your passion, your love and desire for what you want in your life. right? And sometimes it comes to you, right? It's like Madam Max. She's like Lilith just came to me and said, "Hey, I'm here for you," And so she's like, "Whoa, okay, well, that's different, right?" Um, for me, like Lord Shiva actually one day came to me, so that was like, whoa, it was a very traumatic, but at the same time very spiritual moment that I had, right? So these things come to you in different ways if you open your eyes and your mind and your heart and your spirit to it. That's what I believe.
I love that. That makes sense. Someone who's awakened isn't sleepwalking through life, following someone else's script. That makes sense.
Yeah. Every profound metamorphosis requires a descent. Can you describe how walking through your own dark night of the soul acted as the crucible that shattered your previous reality?
Yes. Uh, for me, the dark night of the soul is very important. It hasn't been, it's been pretty recent, right? This last year. In my life, in my career, that I've been laid off 2 times. And last year around September, I got laid off. Um, and I was like, okay, I'll start looking. And then at the same time, later on that year, toward December, I lost my job in September. Around December, I went on a trip and I just started feeling like this pain in my stomach, and I felt like I was gonna die. In fact, I went to the urgent care, and I was supposed to fly back the next day. And that night, I was at the airport almost leaving, ready to leave, but then I felt this another cramp coming on, this pain that I'm like, it's one of those stages where like all your conscious is about breathing, right? And just like you're like, I gotta breathe, I gotta breathe. And I went to the another like urgent care, emergency care at that point 2 times, and literally I felt like I'm gonna die. Okay, this is it. This is my moment that I'm gonna pass away, And but I survived, and it was very traumatizing, obviously, and it was very difficult. I went through quite a bit of depression from basically when I got back after that trip in December all the way till March time when I was basically looking for a job. Plus, I had no health insurance either, so I couldn't even like. I mean, I had to go to the doctor, right? The bill was like $5,000, but I had to put it on my card. But I have like no, I have no health insurance, so I couldn't even go see the doctor. Like they still didn't know what was wrong with me in a way. Anyways, I was into this depression. I couldn't even go work out. All I did was just kind of crawl up into like a ball, and question everything in my life. And then like I gotta survive. I gotta make it through this. I gotta transfer myself. And so I start applying for jobs, and then I start to work out a little bit again. And then I finally got a job in March. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is such a relief, right? Finally getting a stable job, and then start working out, and then start to slowly recuperate myself, and then getting a health insurance later on, obviously, and all those things. So I got out of that. But during that time, it's a very transformative period where you question everything in life. You know, who am I? Why am I here? Am I going to survive? If I survive this, what am I going to do with my life? And so all these things were going through my head, and that just kind of brought me back when I was younger. I grew up very in a very violent family. Like I said, I came from Korea when I was very young, at the age of 10. My dad was very violent, and it was very traumatizing. And I think that trauma, it kind of brought me all back, all those memories. But it's like, how am I going to survive through this? I'm going to survive it through my knowledge of my strength, that I am here. I'm going to survive through this. I can make it. And that transformation got me even stronger, that this life, I need to cherish it. That when I live through this, that I'm going to go and search for the people, my people, that I feel the same energy with. And that made me open my eyes to a different view, right? It's kind of like, I remember, if you guys watch the interview with the vampire, when Lestat turned Luis and he bit him and he said, this is the last this is like the last time I see the sunset for like the first time. It's, and then he died and he came back. It's true. It's like you have to die, or even like a Christian thing, right? When they dunk you in the water, you come back. You're supposed to be represent death, and you come back to life. Same thing. It's the dark night of the soul. You transform it. You have to die to your old self.
Mm.
And I realized that's what I had to do. That's what I ended up doing. Is I died to my mortal self, and I became this new person. This person with my eyes open. I could see the magic in the world, not just every day, just mundane things. Got to work and eat and sleep, and my coworkers, my spiritual growth, who I am. And so that transformed me. And I'm telling you, it's beyond words. It's magic. It's
Mm.
pure magic. When you realize this transcending transformation that you have, it's just pure ecstasy. I would say. I don't know what other words to describe it. And then that makes you open your mind to other people and other things that, like, I want to try it. I want to try this. I want to get to know people. Like, oh, you believe in aliens? Like, tell me why, instead of going, oh, you're a weirdo for believing, witchcraft or aliens or whatever things that people might be into. Like, open your heart, open your mind.
Mm.
That's what it did for me.
Gosh, that's beautiful. It's really, I think to connect that back with how you were describing the awakening earlier, that I think a lot of us go through really tough times. More and more these days, it seems to be coming up for a lot of us. But to find wisdom
Mm,
and insight and clarity
mm,
in those difficult times is what I think differentiates an awakening, where you're truly opened up and hollowed out to receive instead of scarred over and closed
mm.
off to the world. I think that's really beautiful and inspiring. Uh, Now, how did the night kind community connect to this experience for you?
Yes, I call that my second family. I call that actually, have a mortal family. You're born, your mom and dad, brothers and sisters, you can't really, they're blood family, right? But can you be truly yourself with your family? And what I find that in the Night King community, people accept you for who you are, your beliefs, and you're accepted. You don't have to hide. You can be yourself, and people understand you. They appreciate you. They listen to you, right? And these are the people I consider myself to be having as a true friends, or basically true family, because you don't have to hide anymore. You can be out and open, and they accept you. I remember the first time, and I love going to music. I used to go to dance club when I was younger. Not necessarily to pick up, girls back in the college days, like my friends did. They would always like, hey, let's go find the girls. Where they at?
Mhm.
And I'd be in the corner like dancing, like to this music. I'm all vibing, and they're like, what's wrong with him? He's over there by himself. And I remember the first time I went to a golf club, and I was the only Asian guy there here in Seattle.
Mm.
And they were just, at first I was like, I didn't know what to expect, but that's I usually go where the music is, right? Music is where it draws my soul. So I was there, and people were like so friendly. They were like, "Oh, hi, welcome." I was like, "Is this your first time?" Like, "Yes, I've never been to this, like, a place like this." And this is probably my 20s, late 20s, and they're so welcoming. I'm like, "Oh my God, there's so much love and the acceptance here." And I just felt so. And then the music was really good too, obviously. But the people were so accepting, right? And I was like, literally, I'm the only bald-headed Asian goth guy, I would say, I mean, even till now, I think. I see some Asian girls, couple Asian goth girls, but not too many Asian guys that I see. But you know, that's why I travel, right? That's how I met Madam X. That's how I met Shadowborn. I was at a Pittsburgh. Actually, I went there for work, and it was in October, I believe, and no, it was September, October. I think it was the first week of October, and there was like this Pittsburgh vampire ball. I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And I decided to go there. And then I was staying at this bed and breakfast, and Madam X was there downstairs, and I ran into her. And that was my like first time, meeting more than just a goth person, somebody who identified themselves as being a vampire, right? But that time when I went there, I met all these great people, and then Madam's like, "Hey, you should go to New Orleans. There's this a big event down there called Endless Night, um, and you should go there because you'll meet some people." And I'm like, "Cool, let's go." I'm ready. Let's go. And then I didn't realize how big the community was, with so much love and understanding that identify themselves as a night kin, like I said, witches, vampires, Therians, other kin, pagans, shamans, whatever your type is that resonates you within the community with the nighttime. And I remember they're like, "Hey, you need to get a book." It was actually by Father Sebastian, the Master Black Veils book. And I read through that like 7 times, and I'm like, huh, this makes sense. This is really cool. And then after going through that book, and now I was like, just consider myself to be a goth. I was like, this definition, because I'm a warrior. There's 3 different kinds of roles in the vampirism community, and I'm like, oh, I identify myself with this Radu, which is like a warrior, right? And so I remember Madam X like, "Hey, in Shadowborn, like, hey, you should really look into joining the House of the Dreaming. Like we're all Ronins. You probably get." I'm like, "Give me some time. Let me research, right?" And that's what I tell people. I think, don't go by other people's words. You need to research, do your homework. I mean, are they authentic people? What's their agenda, right? I mean, are they accepting you for who you are, or do they have a motive? So, but anyways, it took me over a year. Long story short, I read the Master Veil books. I read all these other books about, mysticism and occultism, all these different things. And I finally decided to, do my work, become a dedicant of the House of the Dreaming. And then I eventually become a member. But I mean, I wanted to meet the elders, and fantastic people. I consider them my family. I consider you as family, Hesperus. I consider all of our members to be brothers and sisters. And there's just nothing like it. When you find your tribe, your house, that's where it's at. So Nike is very important. The community is very important, and to be accepted into family that you can be yourself and with no hidden agendas is the key. At least for me, that's what I found, and that's what the Nike community is for me.
You see the world in an entirely different light, where everything is physically the same yet completely different. How
Mm.
has this affected your experiences of everyday life?
Yes, yes, very good question. I practice martial art, like I said, and there's a thing called qigong or qi, right, or prana. And for the longest time, when I do my like kind of like tai chi, I mean, I always remember the symbol of yin and yang, right, the light and the dark.
Mhm.
But I never understood that the flow of energy is mixed between the light and the dark. So when I practice my qi flow, one day it just came to me, just the flow of energy is light and dark, but they're all mixed together, right? They're just flowing. And from that, I see everything that way, like the trees and the grass, the sun, the air. I mean, the pulling of the energy from the air, just that positive ions and the negative ions mixed together. And I see that within people, the people's, their energies. Um, some people are in a darker place, they're more of a darker energy. I call that ambient energy for me. I love like when I go to the gym or when I go to golf clubs or when I go to a vampire ball, I you can feel the wave of that energy, right? The people's energy, and it's just like when you go to a concert, you feel it. Everybody's here for the same thing. Um, just like when I went to the Renaissance Fair, right? People are there just dressed up, and it's so cool. I mean, I got one more weekend to go this coming weekend, but Renaissance, I love Renaissance Fair because people can represent themselves, like dress the way they want and who they want to be. They could be a crow, You know, they could be whatever they want, right? And it's amazing. And I see that within people every day, every day. You know, like when I sit still by the water or stare at the mountains or a tree, just an everyday item, you think to yourself, oh, that's a nice tree. But at the same time, it's like that the trees give oxygen, you know, it revitalize earth with this oxygen. And I see things, not just that, but just how much the energy that is part of earth is alive. Earth is alive. It's not a dead thing. And so I appreciate that. I absorb that energy when I'm here in nature with trees and grass and the water and just the sound, the air is just, it's the same but different. I can't really explain it, but I feel the difference from before when I was mundane and kind of asleep. Now that I've died to that and awakened myself, I feel so different. Um, so yeah, that's the energy that I feel every day, and I appreciate people that much more. There's people that also have negative energy, right? That they're psychic vampires, I call it, or you don't even have to be vampire because psychic vampire is considered to be taking energy people from like negativity, right? All those people are negative all the time. They want to like suck the life force out of you. Those are considered to be, you know, some of those negative aspects of energy, and I can see that in people. So I try to surround myself with people with energy that is both positive, right? But also has darker energy, but they have control of that. I call it the twilight, living in the twilight, that having the positive and negative energy intermingled together, all mixed together.
That's fascinating. So it sounds like your fundamental internal frequency, if you will, has been significantly impacted by the awakening process. And it sounds like that has had a big effect on the way that you perceive and communicate and generally connect with other people. Uh, how would you say that the awakening has deeply affected the way that you connect with others?
Yes, like I said, you know, when usually for me, there's a thing about awakening. I feel like there is I call it the dark gift. I think each one of us actually has a gift. Um, for me, it's empathy and intuition. Okay, and usually when I meet people within the first like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I talk to them. I get a sense of their energy, right? And it's like, okay, this is a great person. I would love to get to hang out with them, get to know them more. Or people are like, nah, I can't stand this person. Nothing personal, nothing personal. It's just something that's, you know, that our energies are not jiving together, right? So, um, sorry, there's this huge ambulance going on in the park here, and there's a fire department truck. Anyways, yeah. Anyway, sorry about the ambulance noise. Anyways, yeah. So that's kind of like how I feel the differences.
Mm, very interesting.
Magic is often viewed as something hidden or esoteric, but to the awakened, it becomes a reality. How has the integration of magic reshaped your understanding of existence?
Hmm, great question.
Very good. Yes, yes. Magic. There's magic in everything. I'm telling you. When I was so asleep, I didn't see it. It's
Mm,
been there all this time, you know, but you just don't realize it until you awaken. The magic is transformative. I mean, it's when you're consciously aware of it, that and you draw that energy into you and you see the world in a different light, it transforms your mind, your heart, your spirit. And you know, I was never into doing like this magical you know, powers together, right? Doing magic events, or like when there's a full moon. In fact, there's supposed to be a dark eclipse coming up here in a couple more days, I believe,
Mhm.
right?
On the 12th.
So, I mean, words are powerful. Words are magic, right? If you look at the Asian culture, if you see, Asian movies, you don't see a lot of paintings on the wall. You see writings.
Mm,
They're all words
mm,
because words have magic. Words have power. I mean, pictures have power too, obviously, but knowing what to say, knowing what words to say, is the key to magic. And I think being a witness to some of the events when we're gatherings together, it's a beautiful thing when that magic draws out that ambient energy together, and you just, that egregor, right? That energy that you combine together, that magic. It's amazing. When one is good, right? I'm full of chi, my energy is good. I'm self-contained. But when you have another person, that energy is strong. You share that energy together, and it flows even more. You have another person, you share that even more. So when I'm interacting with somebody else, that energy exchanging of words, right? There's magic in that. But
mm.
when you commute together, that's even more magic. And so these kinds of things are I'm aware of, and like when we got together as family and friends, there's magic in that. And it's so, but the thing is, you don't realize it, how awesome it is until that's gone. And you're like, oh, we had such a good time together. That's magic. That's what I call magic for me.
That makes perfect sense. Well, speaking of making connections with people far and wide, making magic all over the country, your path, your journey has taken you traveling all across America to the different vampire balls, gatherings, masquerades, etc.
Mhm.
Uh, what do you think that these immersive spaces do to help reinforce that sense of deep spiritual transformation? What is it that you think stimulates or elevates the awakening process that happens at these events that is really keeping the community alive and growing?
Yes. Uh, Going to these events, is amazing. I met so many amazing people. I met friends that are still to this day. I mean, I've been to Portland, Oregon's Vampire Ball, Lady Raven, fantastic. I love her. She's fantastic. Down over to Denver, Colorado for Julian Black, the Arcane Vampire Ball in Denver, Colorado. I love Tampa. Tampa's like one of my favorite places too, right? Over at the castle. And like even like I love the East Coast too. So was it was it probably 2 or 3 years ago? I was in Fort Lauderdale area. Miguel, he put on this winter vampirism, I believe, and that was fantastic. And of course, New Jersey, right, at QXT. Um, and one of the things was, like I told you about validating and meeting authentic, genuine people, is I wanted to actually go to the Court of Lazarus in New York. I wanted to meet the OG, the Gotham Halo, right? Unfortunately, the Court of Lazarus, they shut down. They closed it, but maybe there'll something else comes. But uh, I'm so thankful for people creating the space to us Nike people to come together and congregate and to share and to experience these moments together. And more, I'm discovering people like me, people who maybe went through a traumatic life experience and maybe they're not accepted in their family, but here, I mean, coming as yourself, who you are, and accepting for who you are, it transforms you. It might be the first time. I remember the first time I went there, I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is like magic here. And then like next time I go to event, like I want to get, even more, I call it glamour, right?
Mm.
You glam yourself up. You represent the best of yourself and you share that with others and they share that with you. And you get to know them and they get to know you. And that exchange of words, knowledge, wisdom. And I met great elders. That's what we need. We need to respect our elders. Elders are so important. that holds the bonds, the community together, and we should pay respect to them, because they've been around for a long time. Um, and so this is what I experience, and each one I go to and meeting these people become lifetime friends, and I try to continue to talk with them and engage with them and getting to know them more and more. One of my favorite is the one over, which one is that, the winter one
The Undead of
in
Winter.
Milton.
Yes, Milton, Pennsylvania's Undead of Winter, run by
Undead,
Prince Gregory.
yes, Undead of Dinner, Prince Gregory. Yes, I love that man too. He's such a huge shoe factory. That warehouse is fantastic, and
Mhm,
so, I mean, different venue has a different energy, right?
mhm,
And so, like going to the castle in Florida versus like the one in Portland at this like historical museum, or going to New Orleans, the House of Blues.
mhm,
Each has each signature, different energies, but the people are what it's all about. People are fantastic. That's why I go, obviously for the event, but meeting people who are authentic, genuine, and so just have that same kin, the same energy. I love it. I just wish I could like create a community, like all of us, like have this giant castle and we all live there. Have a separate places, but we're just into that family, the night kin, and we understand each other. And so that's why I continue to pursue and go into these events, because I like to dress up, and why not dress up, represent the finer side of yourself, the darker side of you, and they accept that and they love it and you love it, and it's fantastic. You get to meet others who are so awesome, and they have different energy and they have different way of thinking, and open your mind and your heart to that, exchanging those ideas and transforming and learning and growing from each other. It's fantastic.
So, I mean, it sounds like I mean, I know the Undead of Winter is absolutely wonderful. What for you makes a ball especially stand out?
The ones that actually, well, for me, I would have to say I think it was the last year or the year before, when I went to Salem at the
mhm,
Hawthorne Hotel. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the glamour, it was just off the charts. It was so awesome. I mean, Alexis and Ben did a fantastic job. I mean, it was such a high. I mean, I was literally high for like a week when I got back home. Literally, seriously. I mean, the energy was so incredibly good there. I loved it. And but yeah, like again, just seeing people just glammed up and dressed up, and they're just that that energy just is fantastic. That's the highlighter for me. Just the outfits, this fantastic outfits that people wear. But it's not just that; it's just who they are. It's just pure magic. I love it.
ah, beautiful. How would you say that your experiences with attending these balls across the country in different regions has affected your personal growth and your connection to the broader alternative subculture?
Yes, it really opened my eyes. Going to these different places and venues, talking to each ones that at least I feel the same connection, because I'm not here to have everybody like me, but there's some people you vibe with more than others.
We like you.
And thank you so much.
We do.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I like you guys too. But it's the I'm telling you, I'm continuing to make new friends, continue to grow and learn from people from different venues. Every time I go, I meet somebody new, and I see some similar faces too, right? That you because they feel the same energy, like, okay, I'll see you over in Salem for the Vampire Ball, which is coming up here in September, which where you guys are going as well too,
We are
right?
looking forward to seeing you there.
Yes.
Yes, and like Ro and Laura and Angela. I mean, there's a bunch of people that I know that's growing, and we have a saying. Sandy came up with this. It's called House of the Travelers. We're the House of the Travelers.
Mhm.
It's a inside thing, but we go to all these different events and we see each other, and they're like, "Hey, we see you, maybe we should all hang out together."
Mhm.
And then we commune together. We have lunch together. We have dinner together. We, not just the ball, by the way, but outside of the ball. When we were in Tampa, I think it was Sean's birthday. I'm like, "Hey, I rented this like a little river boat." I said,
Mhm.
"It's you
Mhm.
guys' birthday. Why don't you guys can come on to the ride with the boat with us. Just get in the back." And so we kind of cruise around the riverfront area of Tampa. I don't like it was like freaking 2 miles an hour. It was super slow. I thought it looked like a speedboat, but maybe we're going like 2 to 5 miles an hour at the most, somewhere around there. I was like, it's so slow. But like, oh, okay, okay. But sharing those times, not just the ball, but sharing a dinner, a meal together, and
Mhm.
like, hey, how have you been? How's
Okay.
things going for you? I'm here for you. Let's support each other, right?
Mhm.
That's the key thing is, again, family. Even not if you don't belong to a house or a coven or whatever, there's people out there that loves you for who you are, and it's
Mhm.
okay. My message is that it's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay that you're weird, that you believe in something that somebody might not believe in, and it's okay. And finding your people that accept you, and share stories and understand you, like, oh yeah, oh yeah, okay, mundane people, right? Like, yeah, yeah, okay, so vampires are real, okay, okay, woohoo. um right, but then when you meet people who are actually in this community and you're like, this is incredible, this is so awesome, like, tell me more, how do you do glamour, how do you live in the twilight, how do you balance between your daytime and your nighttime, and how do you know go on your day side with a corporate job or your day side job versus your true self when you're away from that, right? And people will tell you these things. Hey, you should do this. This is my experience. So sharing that is the key. But communion, getting to know each other is the key for me when I go to these balls and meet people. Not just because sometimes the music gets so loud, I can't. There's no way. I mean, the best moments I would have to say when we're at Madame X's house, we're all sitting in the living room, have a little drink, little food, whatever. We just talk. We just talk about things. We talk about rituals, or we talk about, what makes yourself to become a Therian, or how you became, or what's your philosophy about aliens, or about the Egyptian pyramids, or about Earth magic, cosmic universe magic,
Mhm.
right? So all these subjects are open. Those are the best moments that I take back with me because it enriches my soul, it enriches my experience, listening to other people's thoughts and their experiences. Because you have to have an open mind, and with an open mind, an open heart, open spirit, you can learn and grow from that. Close your heart, close your mind, you'll gain nothing,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So you have to be willing to accept that, and that's why I love the balls. That's why I love communing with people, having dinner together,
Mm.
um, and I can't wait because I need to. I want to get together for dinner together. We'll see how it goes, but I'm trying to limit to maybe 6 to 12 people. But who knows how big it will get? But they're family. They're like friends. They're not. They don't belong to the house of the dreaming, but they're family and friends that I travel with, and I go to these balls and meet them, and they're like my friends, and they're like my family. And I
Yeah.
love that. That's why I do it.
Mm. Yeah. Our diversity is our strength. Yeah.
Mhm.
Being open to
Diversity,
it
yes.
enriches
One of
us.
the one of the 13 pillars of the
Mhm.
Mm.
veils, actually, in the house of the dreaming, um, is very important for diversity and discretion,
Mhm.
right? And safety, um, elders. All these things are very important. So, I mean, I think the most important thing I want to take away for people from my experience, and I have to say that I haven't been awakened that long compared to some of other people. I mean, I did martial arts when I was 10 years old, but it become this kind of a darker goth thing. Was in my late 20s and 30s, and I didn't really identify myself as a vampire until recently, right? It's not like I've been doing it for like 30 years, like some other people, in the community. But mine goes back to like 2022. It's not that long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But I have awakened. I know who I am. I consider myself to be from my awakened state to being a vampire, right? Because this is what I identify myself with. But I, having that foundation, I can see everything else. I can see others that are belonging to different, their own creature, being a witch, that gift that you have, or being telepathic, or all these different things that you have. And
Mhm.
my message is that it's never too late. And the awakening is not just one time. It's a continuing evolution thing for yourself. And I'm always changing and growing. I want to continue to learn. That's why I want to continue to travel. I really am jealous that Angela is in Egypt, because she's experiencing this awesome pyramid. She's going on a camel ride, and I think she almost going on. I don't know if she was going to go on an air balloon ride and all that stuff, but travel, travel. I mean, if you're at your house, at your home, just try to go to a goth club or something if you're into that, or an art festival, right? Or a dragon con, or go to a con or convention, or whatever that you think that gets your heart. If you're excited and passionate about, get
Mm,
out, get out of the house, go do what you guys did. Go on a road trip, go somewhere different, experience something new. Go to the desert, go to the ocean, dance naked in the moonlight. You know, life is too short. Experience that and awaken your true self. And it's never too late, never too late. Awaken your true self. Be who you are to yourself, and everything else will follow. Everything else will follow. Just awaken your heart, your mind, and your spirit. Or be open minded. And there's tough things, like you said, Hesperus.
mm,
There are people going through hard times,
mm,
and we need to understand why that is, and try to see how we can get out of that stage. Um, it's tough. It's
mm.
tough at the night of this. The dark night of soul was a rough period, and but that experience has transformed me, to do better. That I can do it. I lived through it, and I can make it. I survive and get stronger. That's the warrior mentality in me, that you can make it through whatever that life throws at you. You can do it. You can survive through it. That's my message.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like for anybody out there who feels like they're at the threshold of something, follow your passion.
Mm,
Even if it's scary, you
mm,
might just shake yourself awake to a whole new world, and find your tribe, your family.
mm.
Travel, get out there, do the scary thing occasionally.
Yes.
Find some new hands to hold and keep
Hmm.
traveling. I love that. All right. Raven, did you have any closing questions or thoughts for
I'm
this?
just grateful that you came on the show this evening. Thank you so much for sharing some of your experiences with us, and reminding us to dig deep in the way that you have presented it. And thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. Do you
Yes.
have anything?
Yes, y'all, dance naked under the moon more often,
Yeah.
as long as it is on a legal nudist beach.
Yes, or in the forest, in the fire dance I talked
Yes,
about,
find a nice
right? But
private place. Yes.
yeah, yes. I just want to say a moment to say thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast. And I've been watching you guys show with some other members and other people on it, and I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. Just getting the message out there, and I love it. So thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate it as well.
Thank you so much for being here. It's always great to see you, and we will see you again pretty soon
Yeah.
in the
Next
at the
month is
September ball.
coming. The next month is
Yeah.
coming.
Coming right up.
I'm excited. A lot of good
Yes.
things happening in September. So,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Yes, yes. September, Boston Vampire Ball. You guys are going to be in New Orleans for Halloween. I'm going to be in Vegas over at Joy's production. So we love
Hmm.
Joy. So Joy is
Yes.
doing a Halloween event in Fremont district area. So we're going to be going there and celebrate her with her in for Halloween. And then probably in December, probably go down to Florida, just the snowbird. I want to go do some kayaking and go to the castle, hang out over there in December. So that's kind of the travel plan for this year. And then next year, I mean, I try to plan for the whole thing every year. There's so much event. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. I love going to Dallas. There's a house there. He has a event. Lady Astra and Lord Spaz in
Mhm.
Dallas. Shout out to them. Oh my God, I love them so much. They were such a great host. We were there last year in September, and I just love them. They're fantastic. It's Patacon. I can't remember the correct wording is, but they have a little vampire, but it's so mixed. Like it's a vampire bowl, but they have like trigoth and just other goths and fetish people. It's fantastic. But shout out to them. I love them so much in Dallas. If you guys ever in Dallas, go there in September time period. Their vampire ball is fantastic as well. So, anyways, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. When would you like to join us?
Hey guys,
Hi.
Hi.
I've been listening, and a lot of what he said hits home with me and my journey last year, as Raven already knows, and as for some sure she's yeah. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that hits home. So thank you for that.
Really?
It's been a great show. Yes. Yep, it really has. So, and I want to come to one of the balls with these two. Yeah, I would love that.
Yes,
That would be
yes,
awesome.
please. If you can make it to the in Boston, or there's some other events. Obviously, the Endless Night is throughout the whole year, but there's other events going on. But yeah, I
Exactly.
would love to see you, meet you at one of those places. It'd be fantastic.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome, guys. I'm gonna let you sign out, and I am gonna run the GoFundMe for Shane and his family.
Please.
Yes,
again.
please.
I know you didn't know him, but he accepted everybody, and I think that's what made him even more special. Yeah, and he learned. So, and I'm not going to cry right now, so I'm going to get off here, but you guys close it out. I'm going to run that, okay? Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Hail the Traveler. Thank you.
So next,
Be sure to tune in next week. We will be interviewing Gabrielle Gray of
Yes.
the Temple of Transcendence in Michigan.
Wow.
I'm really excited to have her on. We're going to be, exploring. Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but do stay tuned. I personally really, really respect the work that this this elder of the community is doing, and I'm really excited to explore with her some of her vision and the practice that she's building there. But thank you again so much, SilverBlood, for being here. It's always magical to see you.
we will see you all next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Bye.
Have a good night.